Hey everyone, this is Leanne from Of Love and Shiplap and the founder of Sublimate Tutorials and More. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss out on any new videos, and check the video description for a link to the Sublimate Learning Library app. Inside of our mobile/web app, you can access all of our free tutorials in our neatly organized content libraries, as well as choose to upgrade for access to exclusive content, communities, and courses that allow you to truly create, make, profit, and grow your craft business. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to sublimate a travel jewelry case. We got ours through PNW Blanks by Anna, and I have to tell you, this might be one of my favorite products ever. When I first saw these, it was because one of our members was sharing it and I didn't even know it was on the market. And of course, as soon as I was able to get my hands on them, I went and purchased one. This is a pretty user-friendly type of sublimation product because we have the jewelry case and then it has a sublimatable faux leather top piece, which will just do that part. And then you adhere it with some 3M adhesive that's already built in. I love a good travel accessory. I feel like travel accessories are the kind of thing that pretty much everyone will use at some point in their time, even if they're just taking a road trip. There is so many different products that are available for sublimation, laser, embroidering, and heat transfer when it comes to the travel accessory space. So be sure to check out our product guide that relates to this particular item and also the niche guide for travel accessories as a whole to give you some ideas of what kind of money there is to be made with this item. I am going to go ahead and turn things around now. We will have a look at our jewelry case and you can see just how cool it is. And we'll get our measurements and we'll get our design set up in Affinity Designer.
Our travel jewelry case has this nice faux leather disc for us to sublimate. It attaches with 3M adhesive and it unzips. Oops, zipped the wrong way. Unzip it, and you have these different compartments inside for your rings and earrings. I really like these little tabs that you can hook your necklaces and rings on so they don't get jostled around. So it's a nice leather product, and we can sublimate this top piece. Let's grab our tape measure and get our measurements. It's looking like 3 3/4 inches, and it should be 3 3/4 inches the other direction. It is perfect. Now let's pop over to Affinity. We are setting up our design for sublimation in Affinity. If you missed the memo, Affinity has done away with the different designer, photo, and publisher programs and just merged them all into one cohesive interface called Affinity or Affinity Studio. All of our videos moving forward will be in this new software. We have updates coming to some of our older Affinity design tutorials and a completely new masterclass that explores all of the things that this software has to offer. So be sure to check out all of that and more inside of the Sublimate Learning Library app. Now, the steps that you're going to follow are pretty much the same regardless of which version of the software you are using, and possibly even if you are using a different program altogether. We're going to start by opening up a new document. You can do that by coming to File and then New or New Document. Next, we want our document to be the page size and orientation that we plan on printing on with our sublimation printer. So I'm going to be using a letter size page today because our print that we need is only about 4 inches by 4 inches for that lid portion of our travel jewelry box. So I'm just going to select the letter size preset, and my printer feeds this in portrait orientation, so I do have that selected as well. Now my document units is set to inches. You can of course set yours to whatever works for you. Our color format for sublimation printing should always be RGB/8 with the color profile sRGB IEC 61966-2.1 as the most current or up-to-date color profile for this color format. Now I do like to remind you that if you are using a Mac computer and you are facing some color discrepancy issues, then you may need to switch to the Adobe RGB 1998. Again, this is a Mac specific issue. It is not typically an issue with sublimation printers for Windows computers. I always like my documents to have a transparent background whenever I'm doing any type of artwork, so I'm going to set that as well. If you would like to set any types of margins or bleed lines, you can always do that using the settings here. If you want to save your settings, whatever you have created, you can select create preset. You can rename this and all of your settings will be saved for the future. You can see I have quite a few up here that are already set. All right, once you have everything ready to go, click create document. We can import our graphic by coming to the photo icon in our tools panel, which is the place tool. When you hover over it, it should tell you that, or you can come to file and then place. This is going to open up your file explorer. I'm using this design that was found on Creative Fabrica originally. So I'm going to just select the one that I want, which is going to be this one with little like crescent moons, and then select open. If you one click, you're going to import your graphic at the maximum size that it is. If you click and drag, you're able to control the size of it on your canvas. Once you see that downward arrow with the little puddle, you know that you're ready to go. So I'm going to click and drag to resize mine onto my canvas. Now this is going to be 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches for the design itself is like the maximum. But I do want to make sure that overall my print is a little bit bigger so that I can get a nice full bleed. So what we're going to do is come to our shape tool and select our rectangle tool. I'm going to click and drag to create a rectangle. And then I'm going to come to my color panel. I don't need to have an outline on this, so where it says set stroke, where we have this open circle, I'm going to have that on top and I'm going to choose the no fill option. And then for the filled circle, I'm going to set that to black. Next, I'm going to come to my transform panel in the bottom right, and I'm going to set this to 4 inches by 4 inches. So our measurements were 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. This is going to give us just enough little extra around the outside there so that we can get that nice full bleed without any problems. Now I want my moth here to be on top, so we're going to drag that up in our layers panel so that it is above the rectangle. And then we'll go ahead and get everything kind of resized and centered. So with my design selected, I'm going to come to my transform panel and I'm going to enter in 3.75. Now this might be a little too big, but we'll find out once we get it situated. I don't think it'll be too big just because there is a border on this. If you see, there's like some empty space. So it should be nicely centered on our travel case top. I'm going to click and drag my 2 layers here, and I just want to make sure they're centered. So I'm going to come to my alignment tools and I'm going to choose center and center again and apply. Now, if you want to make it easy for yourself, you can then right click and group these together just so that as you move stuff, you don't accidentally shift it anywhere. I'm going to move it up towards the top of my page. You don't really have to do this. It's kind of up to you. I just want to save that second half of the page so I can use it for nozzle check paper if I need to. I do like to do that anytime I have something that takes up less than half of a page, or you can always print multiple items. Like if I was going to do multiple projects right now, I could just move this over and print some other stuff on here. Once you are satisfied with your design, we're going to go to File and then Print. You're going to select your printer from the drop-down menu. You're then going to click on Properties. And in your Properties panel, this is where you will set any of the necessary settings for your sublimation printer. With the Epson SureColor F570 Pro, because it is a sublimation ready printer, there is nothing to really set other than making sure your paper settings are correct. So we already see that our size is the correct size, and we're going to come to where it says Source, and we're going to choose Auto Sheet Feeder. And then underneath our printer settings, I'm going to do rigid for this because this is like that PU leather material. And to me, that categorizes as a rigid surface. I don't really consider it a textile because textiles they have more give and stretch. So to me, this is a rigid substrate. So we're going to go ahead and choose that rigid option. Now, because this is a sublimation ready printer, I do not need to do anything else. There's no color correction needed. There's no special tweaking of your paper types or anything like that. Everything is just ready to go with this printer. So I'm going to deselect print preview because I don't need that. I'm going to click OK. And the reason why I don't use that print preview is because that print preview will open up the Epson print preview, and I already have a print preview right here in Affinity Studio that I can see. And I can see, exactly that it's all within there. So once you're ready, just click OK, and it's going to send it off to print. Now this is pretty straightforward. We're going to just go ahead and center our top piece here on our design. And once we're happy with how centered it is, I always like to check and make sure it's even on all sides. We're going to use some heat tape to secure it. All right, I think I got it. This is why we do that little border. All right, so we're just going to apply some heat tape. We want to make sure to rub along the edge of our top piece here after we apply it so that our heat tape makes sure everything is nice and secure. I'm going to add one more piece, and then I think that we should be good to bring this over to Blue the Fusion IQ. All right, we are over here at Blue the Fusion IQ, and you're going to want a piece of blowout paper that you have folded in half so it's top and bottom coverage. We're going to set that in there with our transfer facing down and our substrate facing up. Let's go ahead and slide it on back and get our heat press closed up. We're going to be doing this PU leather piece at 385 degrees for 60 seconds with medium firm pressure. Now this will work for pretty much any item like this, such as PU leather coasters, which are very similar to this particular top piece that we're using. I love a good travel accessory, and I feel like an item like this, like a travel case, is one that suits people no matter where they're going and no matter what way they are traveling. From tossing this in your purse for every day, if you happen to change up jewelry during the day, maybe between daytime events and work or afternoon events, or if you are taking a weekend away, a week away, whatever. I know I'm definitely going to order some more of these because currently I just throw my jewelry in a zipper pouch and it's always a mess when I travel. This is definitely better. So we have just a few more seconds before this will be ready for us. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and open up Blue the Fusion IQ, pull our drawer on out, and I'll bring you guys down so you can see it. Perfect. Now this is going to be hot, so you do want to have your heat gloves. Go ahead and peel off our paper here. We'll peel off our tape, I should say. Kind of just want to slide your fingers up underneath the tape. Oh man, I folded that one under. All right, we'll get that afterwards. All right, peel off all of our tape. It is very hot. And let me just try and get this other piece off so we can actually see our beautiful design. All right, perfect. There we go. So here's a look at our design. The colors look great. Let's go ahead and attach it. Now this is going to be very easy to attach. We're literally just going to peel off this film that's on top of our 3M adhesive. So I'm just going to try and get that with my nail. The protective film there is very thin, so you got to be careful. You don't want to peel off your actual adhesive itself. You can see it in the camera there. All right, we're going to go ahead and line this up. I'm going to try and get it really close to one edge or two edges so I can make sure it is properly centered because it should fit exact in the top of this travel case. So once it looks like we got it right, I just kind of push it. All right, we're going to give it some good pressure and make sure that it is fully adhered. 3M adhesive is pretty much permanent after 24 hours. So there is a look at our finished travel case. I really love this jewelry case. I think it came out beautiful and I can't wait to do more. All the links for everything we used today are below this video. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.